Alright.
Kiroku shiteimasu. Okay.
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 Okay. So, this is the Translator Tea Time Podcast.
Yay.
Episode 2. We're already off to a better start than the first episode. Because we mentioned the title.
I haven't run away. That's pretty good. This is pretty miraculous.
We're doing great.
Wow.
So, I'm Jenny McKeon, still. Right now I'm translating some light novels for Young Press and Nichijou for Vertical.
Incredible.
I know. What about you?
That's so cool. Oh, I'm Amanda Haley, and I'm translating manga. It's all I do.
Nice. No, I can't wait to get back to my manga series.
Well, it must be pretty intense doing light novels, 'cause there's just so much text, and I imagine there must be a lot more freedom, too, in how you can translate it, because you don't have, the bubbles where you have to keep things short at certain times. And, well, you don't have the pictures to, guide you either.
It's pressure.
So, yeah.
It's fun, though. But, yeah, it's a little scary.
Yeah, I imagine there are some good things to it, where you can, I guess, kind of... Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes it'll be I want to write a line in a certain way, but the bubble is super, super small. And so I just can't.
Yeah.
So at least you don't have that constriction
when
you're doing light novels.
Ramble as long as I want with each line. That's nice. And with this one,
scary,
I think I told you this the other day, but I already did the manga adaptation of the first volume.
Right.
So for the first 2/3 of the book, I had the manga to refer to. So that was the sound of my cat climbing up my chair.
Yep.
The cat is great. He always likes to hang out in the office when I'm translating. So sometimes in the morning, if I'm taking too long to get to work, he'll just sit on the chair and he's like, "Hey, I'm ready. What are you doing?"
Does he ever try to go over your keyboard? You see the cat pictures like that all the time on the internet.
Yeah, he's the worst.
Oh, that's cute.
I love him. Now he's gonna sit on the printer.
Okay.
Hopefully he won't turn it on, because he likes to do that.
He can be the third person to record.
He translates things into screens.
Wow.
Hey. Yeah. All right. So, yeah.
Yep.
You working on anything exciting, or have you read anything exciting lately?
I'm working on Anne Happy right now. I know you liked the anime, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Super cute.
It is super cute. It's just adorable.
I didn't finish it yet. Do you ever have something that's so cute that you don't want it to end, so you drag out the second half of the series forever?
Oh.
Yeah, that's just a weird thing I do.
I mean, I don't think I have really, but I understand. That's kind of with me, it's if I'm playing an RPG or something, and I've just liked it so much, I don't want it to end, so I get to the final dungeon, and then I just put it off and off and off. And then I end up not finishing it, because by the time I get back to it, I don't remember the battle system.
I know that all too well.
That probably isn't, remembering the battle system itself probably isn't really a problem for most RPGs. It's just kind of remembering the best way to do things.
Yeah. I played 90% of Wind Waker literally at least 2 years ago now. And then I just haven't finished it. And I want to say it's because it's so good that I don't want to finish it. I think I just get distracted really easily. But maybe it's a combination of both.
Probably. I mean, there's just a lot of games and media out there, and these days it's so easily accessible because you can just buy it online immediately and download it and play it. You don't even have to go to the store.
I know.
So it's no wonder. That's why we end up with our really huge Steam libraries.
Yeah, it's terrible. On that note, I've been totally at a loss for what to do about the new Pokemon games. Because it feels, traditional to, go to GameStop when it comes out, on the day, and you pick it up, and it's great. But Amazon has, this special, metal case if you pre-order both.
Oh.
And I don't know, man. Seems weird.
I don't know. I haven't played Pokemon since Pokemon Yellow. I like it, but I don't know. I was always playing other things. We didn't really have much, portable games until I was out of high school. That was when I really started playing, PSP and DS and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those school days where you could play lots of games because you had time, because you weren't working all the time. But
I'm so mad at my past self for not utilizing her time better.
But at least work is fun, right?
Yeah.
Usually.
It's true. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely at the phase, where it's the last couple days of a project, and you're almost done, but it feels like you're never going to be done.
Yeah.
And I'm just dying. But, yeah.
Yep.
So, we had some questions from listeners, which we apparently also had.
What? No. No, stop.
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding.
We don't. It's fine. We're not even recording.
Let's
just
pretend.
Sure I'm recording.
I just pretend I'm only chatting to you.
So I figured maybe we could read those and answer them.
Okay.
So, Curious Eco asked, what's the process like? For example, do you take notes in Word or download and use a download program? Well, we talked about this before, about whether we have, PDFs or, actual books.
Did we?
I think we might have.
I don't remember. It was a month ago. I don't know. In the original question, it says, do you download RAES? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I tried Googling it, and it looked like it might be a file extension for, a kind of archived file.
Oh, yeah. It could also be an autocorrect.
But if we don't know what it is, then we don't use it.
Yeah. Usually, we either have a physical book, or we have, a reader or a PDF or whatever.
Yeah. It's usually the paperback or image files or a PDF.
Yeah.
There's been one time that I got a file that I couldn't open in the zip that I got from the publisher. And it was because it was an InDesign file, and they had just forgotten, to put the TIFFs in there.
Mm-hmm.
But when that happens, you just say, hey, can I have a TIFFs, please? I can't open this. I can't afford InDesign, I'm sorry.
No, I wish.
They just make it for you.
Yeah, so that's cool.
So I guess that the gist of this question is, do you need any special download programs or anything? No, you don't.
Yeah, no. I just use Word.
Yep.
And as for taking notes, I don't know about you. I don't really, read ahead and take notes so much as I kind of translate it as I go, basically.
It depends, I guess, on the series. I don't remember if we've talked about this, about whether it's better to read everything through and then go back to the beginning again and translate it, or if it's better to just translate as you are reading for that kind of immediacy.
Yeah.
I think people might be split on that. And I guess it really depends what project you're working on as to which one will be better. I try to skim through the whole series as many books as I have, just to see the major plot points and the secrets.
Yeah, later. If you should be hinting at something, then that's good to know.
Because there are certain series where the characters will, they won't say exactly why they feel a certain way, but later you find out, oh, this character was acting angsty at this time because he was thinking about how his parents left him at a super young age or something like that. And you won't find out until like 10 volumes later. But it'll come up like early in the series, like hinted at. And when you reread it, it'll be like, oh, this is why he felt this way.
Which is like a great writing technique and like a terrible thing to do to translators.
So I like knowing about that. But I do also feel that sometimes, like, when I'm reading through a series for the first time, there will be a line that pops into my head, and it's like, oh, this is such a good way to translate this, I have to write it down right now. But usually I kind of won't write it down. And then when I go back through it again, I can't remember what it was.
No.
So, yeah.
Man, there was a thing that I just translated that the first volume ended with a line that was something like, I didn't know at that time that there was something that I would have to give up on for that to happen. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Oh, right. And then you kind
of have to... I don't have the other volumes. What does this mean?
Yeah.
So you try to just be as vague as possible. Like, I hope this still makes sense.
Yeah. Like
3 volumes from now.
For certain series like Dimension W, I will go and, like, get the Japanese ebook the day it comes out for the newest volumes and then read through and then be like, oh, shoot. I have to email her about the script that I turned in just yesterday and change this thing because of this future thing that they say. Well, that's really only happened like once, but I get the feeling that if I don't, keep up on it, there's going to be something else.
Yeah.
There might or there might not. I don't know. It probably doesn't make too much of a difference in the end. But I can be kind of a perfectionist. I'm really, really picky about certain lines that I put in manga.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have something and I'll be like, I don't know what, maybe I should, like, ask my friends, and be like, do you think this sounds natural or something? And then they'll, like, offer me a couple other things, and I'll be like, no, that won't work because of this reason, or that won't work because of that reason. It's like, who am I asking them then?
I'm like, does this sound like good English to you?
Yeah.
And he's like, what if you said it like this? And I'm like, no.
It can't because of the context, but you don't know the context, so why have I done this to you? I don't want to make you feel, bad or anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to reject your ideas. It's not your fault, it's my fault. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Pish. That's how it goes for me.
Yeah, it's definitely like, I'm reluctant to closely reread my old, like, translations once I get the comps, because sometimes I find stuff and I'm like, this would have been better, or like, this doesn't work as well as I thought.
That's the nature of the work, where it's never going to be perfect. There's just no way it can ever be 100% perfect.
Yeah.
And perfect by one person's standards is going to be perfect, or it's not going to be perfect by somebody else's. And that includes, like, past you versus present you.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I impress myself, and sometimes I'm like, please, why did you do this? Don't you understand that sounds terrible? What were you thinking?
Well,
that's probably the same for any creative endeavor, though.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyways, as far as taking notes, I just write notes to myself in my script as I'm going, and then when I go over it at the end, I take them out as I address like everything that I have.
I'm afraid to do that because I feel like I'm gonna forget to take them out.
Well, yeah, there was one script I looked at the other day. It was an old script, and I needed to, like, look up lines for flashbacks. And I was going through it, and I saw a note that I left to myself. And it was, like, in command form, too. To myself, it was, like, telling me, check this, blah, blah, blah. So I was kind of like, oh, shit. But I imagine that probably isn't that uncommon.
Yeah, I'm sure
everybody probably accidentally leaves, notes for themselves. But I usually try to put it behind, like, a couple slashes, so I can just control an F for slashes.
Yeah,
that's how you comment in, like, HTML and coding and stuff like that, I think. So that's what I do. So then hopefully if I remember to control F for that, then I will not make that mistake. of leaving my personal notes in the final script. Especially because my personal notes are usually really, really dumb.
Informal.
Yeah, they're super informal. I just kind of... I shouldn't even... I'm not even going to talk about what's in them. They're really terrible.
Okay.
And they're only useful to me.
There are... once in a while, there are things that I'm working... Like, I'm working late at night or something, and I hit a really hard kanji, and I'm just like... No, and I just kind of write in all caps, like, fix this, and then, like, highlight it, and then just, like, keep going.
I literally write, fix this, in all sorts of places.
And then you look at it later, and you're like, fix what?
Well, you get in the groove, and you're like, I don't want to stop and look things up right now, because I'm in the zone. I just gotta keep going, you know.
Totally.
Before I lose that.
I know myself, and if I...
Well, if you open up the internet, you're going to get distracted.
Yeah, you'll just get distracted.
You're going to end up with like 20 tabs and be like, what did I open this to look up? I don't remember anymore. And it's like half an hour later. Shoot. So I write that. Fix this. Fix that. This is crap. Change it. Make this not crap. I use a stronger word than crap, but... We got sidetracked.
Well, yeah.
Which is fine.
I hope that answered. I mean, yeah, I guess I just kind of...
Yeah, there's not anything special you need.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take notes in whatever way you want, really. Unless... Yeah. I mean, I guess you might, compile some notes for your editor. Of course, you will make those sound all nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that in, like, Notepad. So that shows the level of, like, professional software that I'm using over here.
I used to use a program called Scrivener, which is kind of like
so much good stuff about that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's basically a word processor that autosaves, and it's very good for, like, organizing a bunch of little files. Because it has, kind of on the side, it has, a list of files, and you can move them up and down and put them in different folders and whatnot, and name them things and whatever.
Nice.
So I used to use that, and I would put all my finished scripts, for one series in one Scrivener file. So nice. I could, find things really quickly when I didn't know what volume it was in. But I kind of fell out of the habit.
Yeah. Well, we were also talking about, like, tools we use and stuff. Just as far as...
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah. And something I do, actually, sometimes is just use... what's it called? Like a program where you can, like, take a picture of the text and get
OCR?
Actual text. Yeah. Right. And then I'll just use... There's a Firefox program called Rikai-chan.
Right. I love Rikai. It's the reason I know Japanese. I'm going to say that because It's
so good. Yeah. I would definitely recommend that for anyone interested.
Well, for anyone who likes learning Japanese and also spends a lot of time on the computer.
Because you can just mouse over stuff and it'll show, like, the Jisho definition or whatnot. So that's pretty handy.
Yeah.
And Jisho also has, like, the looking up kanji by radicals, which I like because usually when I use, like, the programs where you draw it, like, with a mouse or on your phone or whatever, I'm like, this is terrible.
Jisho is very good for looking up kanji by radical. Especially because, well, I used to use the www.jdic dictionary. It also had a kanji lookup function, by radical, where you just went through the list and selected whatever radicals were in the kanji, and then you might be able to narrow it down by how many strokes are in the kanji too. And then, you'd click find or search or whatever, and it would give you the list. But the Jisho one, as you click on each radical, it's already giving you a list.
Yeah.
You don't have to, go through that separate step. It doesn't sound, like much, but
when you do it like so many times a day.
Yeah. Anything that cuts down on time is great. Yeah. When you first start out, you kind of are looking up a lot of things, unless you're already, unless you've already been doing or living in, a Japanese environment for a long time. So that's really useful then. I'm so happy that I don't have to look up very much anymore.
Yeah. I'm like so pleased with myself when I can read something without looking anything up. Which is kind of sad, but I've definitely noticed improvement just even in like a year or so that I've been doing it. It like comes back to you, or you like learn more stuff on the fly.
Yep.
I've been trying to do like a kanji flashcard app.
Like Anki?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the SRS space.
Yeah.
What is it? Space repetition system, or I don't know what the last S stands for.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I always found super useful, but I keep forgetting to do it, which is how it becomes not useful.
That's useful for any kind of schoolwork too, for any kind of memorizing. I used to use a lot of Anki.
Yeah.
And then I started reading, and then I stopped using Anki. Which is fine, because then you're just seeing the words in actual, context.
Yeah.
In new contexts, instead of in your flashcards. So you're still learning them. It just takes time and lots of practice, I guess. Either way is fine.
Yeah, like different stuff works for everyone probably.
Yep. I haven't ever been able to go back to Anki. I've tried. Even like last week I downloaded Anki again. And I was like, I'm going to go grab the pre-made Anki deck with all these Japanese words, and I'm going to learn all the ones that I don't know that are in it. But then I just end up going through the deck deleting ones that I already know. So it's not really useful to me anymore.
Yeah. Anki can be like overwhelming because there's so much and like so many options. So I actually right now I'm using an app called like Simple Kanji Quiz that just has them broken up by like the JLPT levels.
Yeah.
And I'm like brushing up on lower levels too, because like most of them I'm just like, this is super easy. It's like Taberuj, and you're like, duh. But then there's some that I'm like, I've never learned that.
Yeah. I feel strongly about all the options in Anki. When I started Anki, there weren't all those options. And it was a lot easier, just to find how to make the size of the text on your flashcards bigger. And And after it got all complex, I can't figure it out anymore. I feel old or dumb or something, but I don't know. There were so many options, it's overwhelming. It's a great program. And I'm sure if you needed to customize, I don't know, the rate at which your reviews come, it would probably be greatly beneficial for memorizing things.
Yeah, definitely.
But I just can't figure out how to make the text bigger. But it doesn't matter because I'm not using it anyway, so never mind.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway. So yeah, I don't know if that more or less covers that question.
I guess. I think we already covered it, and then we just kept talking about other things. Because that's what we do here.
Yes.
So there.
Well.
Okay.
Still have two more. So, we'll do one and then we'll get off track, and then we'll do the next one and get off track.
And then by the time we're done, we won't. I don't know, it'll be an hour.
It'll have been like an hour. Ta-da! So, XB Saint on Twitter asked if manga translators get Bibles with specific names or terms to use up front, or if we develop it ourselves. And that also depends, but so far I've had to develop them myself all the time.
Yeah, that is basically what you said. It depends on the series. I've gotten them for a couple. Like, if there's an anime for it, you might get one to match up with the anime. If it's something, you're picking up from the middle, you might get one. Or you might not. Depending on if the previous translator kept one.
You might just end up cursing that person's name.
Well, you probably would have read through it anyways. So you probably would be able to, even if you only read it in English, the first couple volumes, I mean, or up until wherever you pick it up, you probably will be able to figure it out pretty easily. As long as you have it to read.
That's true.
But you might curse them a little bit. No, you won't.
No, I wouldn't curse them. I would just curse, I don't know.
Your luck.
Like the sky or something.
The sky. Man, some authors just have some crazy spellings.
Yeah, I was gonna say curse the authors, but that's not very nice
terrible.
Either.
No, they're the reason we make any money at all.
It's true.
They give us our happy manga. There's one I'm doing right now, which is on Crunchyroll, that just started, and it's called The Grim Reaper and an Argent Cavalier, which is kind of a mouthful.
That's a title.
It's a fantasy series. But a lot of a lot of the names come up in the artwork with the spelling. And it's kind of a blessing and a curse. Because the blessing is, I can just go through all the artwork and write down all the spellings that they have. And I don't need to think about how to spell this kind of vaguely Western sounding town name.
Yeah,
and things like that.
There's so many different ways you can interpret them.
Yeah, but the curse is that when you catch up, you're like, every new noun, every new name and town name and stuff, it's kind of like, oh god, there's not a spelling for it, written in English in this chapter, but this author writes out a lot of things in English in the artwork. Is she going to do it later? And is it going to be different than the spelling that I've given it?
Ugh, that's bad.
I think that most of the time it probably doesn't matter, but I think as translators, we want to take pride in our work. We want to do a good job and have consistency and whatnot. Sometimes we can't really do anything about it, and so that kind of sucks. Yep.
It can't be helped.
Yep.
As they say. But yeah, I've been making a Bible for the Death March series because I started that from scratch. So I just have an Excel file with all these different little tabs, and it's kind of weirdly satisfying, but only if you remember to keep up with it.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes if it's just for my own reference,
yep,
I definitely don't remember to do it.
Yep.
But I feel kind of grateful that the editor asks me to send it in along with my manuscript, because otherwise I won't remember to keep it up.
Yes. Me too.
Yeah.
My first series was it ended up being 25 volumes long. It was Capellian.
Right.
And I never thought, to make a series Bible for it, because I just hadn't had a series Bible before. So sometimes I'd have to, look 10 volumes back and be like, what did I call this before? I don't know. It hasn't appeared in 10 volumes. Help me, please, someone.
Yeah.
I wish that I had been keeping them then. And I'm not very good about them still if I don't have to, but most of the time I don't have that many terms to remember anyways.
Yeah. Death March is fantasy, and also the full title is Death Marching to the Parallel World Rhapsody, so there's that.
That is a title.
Yep. Or I guess just Death March to the etc.
Well, it sounds cooler in Japanese.
Yeah.
English words in Japanese always sound cooler. in Japanese than they do in English.
Basically. But yeah, and it's like, you know, a guy ends up in like an RPG world type story. So there's all these like skills and items and stuff that I have to keep names for. And then sometimes something will come up way later and I'll be like, oh crap, I shouldn't be calling it this. I should be calling it this.
Oh, yeah.
Then I have to email my editor and be like, hey, I know this came up in the manga and like 2 chapters ago. But what if it's different?
Yep. Sometimes it's really hard to decide on terms.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I'll kind of like, I don't know, I won't really decide until I get to the end of that particular volume.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll find myself reading like 5 volumes ahead and being like, is this going to come up again? But if you don't have that much material, then you can't do that.
Yeah. There's also times, like there was a time in Dragon Maid that there was something that I kind of like didn't realize was like a capital T term, you know? I just thought she was using a phrase or whatever, and then it starts coming up a bunch, and I'm like, oh,
this.
I already dug myself a hole here, and now I have to keep calling it that. I mean, it worked out okay. Oh, but then I'm always like, should I capitalize it? Like,
well,
because like that's not really a thing in Japanese.
Well, is it being lettered that way though, or do you even know? Or I guess in like asides.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Then it might be in uppercase and lowercase.
I tend to forget about that.
Yeah.
But I guess in the light novel it does matter.
Yeah, it would matter in the light novel.
Imagine if they were just printed in caps the whole way through. That would be very aggressive.
That would be terrible. Nobody would be able to read it. Ugh.
I wouldn't be able to.
Do you remember? I don't know if you ever read stuff on like fanfiction.net and stuff. There would be people there who would type in all caps.
Yeah. That just makes me think of the ones that were like in script format.
Right.
Like script fix.
Didn't they ban that or something? I think I remember them coming up with a rule that was like no script format. Or it was there used to be some where they would ask the reviewers and commenters or whatever to come up, with their own characters, and then they would write your characters in. And I think that...
Oh, yeah.
I think they ended up having a rule against that or something. I don't remember.
Oh.
That was so long ago, like 10 years. Oh my god,
yeah, that was really long though. Yeah, we're old. It's fine.
So old.
So the last question before we go down, like, the fanfiction hole.
Oh, please. Let's not talk about fanfiction. A terrible fanfiction that we may or may not have written.
Oh my god.
No.
Sorry. I just read, it's totally off topic. I just read an interview with Rebecca Sugar, the creator of Steven Universe. And she said that she used to write fanfic of Invader Zim and One Piece. And I was like, that's amazing.
It doesn't surprise me that she used to write fanfic. I wouldn't have guessed Invader Zim and One Piece. But it doesn't surprise me that she used to write fanfics.
Mm-hmm. I got excited about One Piece because, like, I feel like it makes sense because One Piece is actually really good at like world building, and so is Steven Universe. So,
yeah, I want to read One Piece, but it's just so long.
It's so long.
It's so long. I don't want to invest that much money or time.
Mm-hmm. So,
it looks so
Alex
good.
is like super into One Piece. So a couple years ago, I just kind of started watching it with him. I didn't like catch up. I had like read it as a kid, so like I've got the basics. Like they're pirates and he's brother. Right. And I just like started watching it, and I've been able to more or less like get by. Like he'll catch me up on backstory things.
I guess yeah. Knowing the serialized nature of manga and all that, it probably isn't that hard to just jump into the middle.
Yeah.
When you're translating, you really notice the little clues that they leave for readers who are picking up from a certain chapter, not from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's more obvious in some series than others.
Yeah, like the chapters that start with, "It's me. I'm so-and-so, and I'm a student here, and just yesterday this happened." And I'm like, I know. Right. I just read it on the previous page.
Right.
But I guess originally it was in like
it's like that
magazine, and it might have been like weeks or months since anyone's read it.
Yep.
So. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway. That was my bad. But I don't know how to pronounce this person's name.
Jeff?
Is it Jeff?
Geoff, I think would be Jeff.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's not Geoff, right? It's Jeff, right? I feel so bad. I shouldn't say that.
It has to be, right?
I don't know.
I was like, this must be Jeff. I've just never seen it spelled that way. Anyway.
I think I have. Like Jeffrey.
Sorry, Jeff. Yeah, that's true.
You've probably seen Jeffrey spelled that way.
Yeah.
Just not the
I'm sorry,
sugar.
Jeff. I get worried. Anyway, he wants to know if there are popular titles out there that we feel for some reason or another won't see translation. I kind of feel like we're back to another period of time where companies are more willing to take a chance on weird titles.
Yeah.
Like, people always tend to talk about the manga industry as if it's dying in America, but I feel like...
Oh no.
Yeah, but
Please
for the past several years,
keep my job. I don't want to do anything. Sorry,
I know. I'm like, first of all, rude. But secondly, that's not even true. It's been, like, going up for, like, the past several years. So, there's stuff like...
I could list off a whole list of things that last year I would have thought would never get licensed, and now they're licensed.
Like what?
Saki, Haikyuu, Kuroko's Basketball, Yona of the Dawn, Nozaki-kun.
Nozaki-kun.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of the stuff that Vertical licenses, like Devil's Line, I read that in Japanese in the magazine that it was coming out in, and I was like, this is something that's never going to come out in English. But now it has. It's like, oh, wow. Hey, I discovered that series first. Aren't I cool? No.
You were reading, like, manga magazines?
Some of them are out. Some of them come out digitally. So some of them, occasionally, I'll get digitally. I don't remember if that was Good Afternoon or Good Morning or something like that. But it was some magazine that I used to get every month for Devil's Line. And then I kind of fell out of it, but occasionally I still get a digital magazine if there's like a new series by an author I like that I really want to check out. Sadly, the magazine that I really want to get, which is G Fantasy, of course, does not have a digital edition, and it makes me sad.
No.
Oh well.
Man, sometimes I forget that, like, I can just read stuff in Japanese.
Yeah.
And that it's not just, like, a superpower that activates when I'm working.
You can read Japanese, and you don't even have to wait for shipping because internet exists.
It's
true. They sell things to you through the internet.
I know. Right on your very own personal computer.
It's great, but then all your money is gone. It's like, oh, shit.
Man, we went on vacation, and I went to Kinokuniya, the Japanese bookstore.
Yeah.
And it's very overwhelming.
Yeah, everything's jacked up in price, though. But if you wanted, hard copies, it probably evens out because you'd have to pay for shipping.
It's still not usually, like,
to get stuff from Japan.
Yeah. The first few times I went there, I was so, like, overwhelmed that I didn't buy anything.
How did you find any books?
But, yeah, and the order was confusing.
Right, because they're ordered by publisher.
They're sorted
usually
by publisher, and I'm like, I don't freaking know.
The first time I went to Kinokuniya, I was, like, a high school senior or something, and I couldn't find anything that I, was ready to go and find because I didn't know that it was going to be, sorted that way.
Yeah.
So I got some art books instead.
That's relevant. So when I was there last, I got a fan book for Tanaka-kun, which I love. The anime just came out on Crunchyroll this past season. And I don't actually know if it's been licensed, but someone should license
the manga?
it and
I don't think so.
hire me to translate it.
I don't remember it being announced. That is a Square Enix title. So if anybody did, it probably would be Yen, right? I don't know if any of the other publishers get Square Enix. I think that Seven Seas says that they don't do Square Enix, and I don't know about Vertical either. And of course, Viz doesn't, because there's Shueisha.
Yeah.
And Kodansha doesn't because they're Kodansha. So I think that rules everybody else out.
Oh. But I don't know why Umaru hasn't been licensed yet.
Umaru-chan?
It would. Oh. Yeah. That was in Jump, so that would have to be Viz.
That's in Jump?
It's in like Shonen Ace or something anyway.
I didn't know that.
I know, because after I watched it, I was like, who does this? Can I translate this? But it's Weekly Young Jump. So...
That's what we think every time we find something that we like, isn't it? Please let me translate this. Oh, it's going to be such a pain because of the terms and stuff, but I want to translate it anyways, please.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
Sometimes I'll watch something and Alex is
myself.
I know. I want them all. And Alex is like, you don't have time for any of that. I'm like, I would make time.
No, I'll have time.
For Mario,
give me a 30-hour day. Please.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's hard to say anymore what's not going to get translated.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Maybe like, I don't know.
I mean...
I feel like it would be silly not to license that.
I don't know. I mean, of course, as freelancers, we're not, like, privy to any behind-the-scenes discussions about licensing, really. So we don't really know what decisions go into that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have to assume... Sometimes I'm surprised, actually, because, like, I assume that it's based on, you know, how well they think it'll do.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm translating, like, the 8th volume of something or whatever, and I'm like, are they sure that, like, this is gonna sound? And then I'm like, never mind, don't think about that. Of course it is.
That's not your job.
Yeah.
It's either gonna sell or it's a passion project, I guess. I think some series I've heard are more passion projects, but...
that's interesting. That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess... Yeah, I don't know. Even, like, sort of niche stuff sometimes makes it over.
It's kind of... I mean, I guess I wouldn't rule out anything, especially now that Crunchyroll is doing digital manga. I think they might be more willing to, you know, take a chance on things.
Yeah, Crunchyroll is, like, on the rise. There's, like, ads for Crunchyroll near the manga section in Barnes & Noble.
Didn't they do some ads in front of a movie recently? I don't remember which it was. Oh, yeah!
I went and saw something, and I was like getting popcorn or whatever, and then Alex said there was a Crunchyroll ad. I was like, dang. Big leagues.
Yeah, big leagues.
And I was like, I was on it before it was cool. But I guess you were actually like on it before it was cool.
Well, that was totally coincidence. That it was, you know, Kodansha doing the first manga on Crunchyroll. And that I happened to have already translated some of one of those series. It was great coincidence. Thank God for that coincidence. Yay.
It's a good coincidence.
So are there any other, like, popular titles that you would want to see licensed? Even if you think that it will be licensed? It just hasn't yet? Other than what you listed already? There
is, what's it called? Kakukaku Shikajika, which is by the author of Princess Jellyfish, Akiko, what's it? Higashimura? Higashimura Akiko, either way. Yeah, she has this other series, I think it was only like a volume or two, that's actually autobiographical, which is something I feel like I don't see in manga that often, or don't see translated that often. And it's super good. It's so good. It's about, like, her experience in art school and, like, or not art school, and becoming a mangaka, and, like, her relationship with her art teacher and stuff. And it was super good. And I cried. And someone should hire me to translate.
How long was that? Was that just one volume? Or was it longer?
It was definitely no longer than, like, 2 volumes.
Oh.
It was only 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it under her at Kinokuniya, actually. Maybe it was a different publisher.
Oh.
But yeah, I really like that one. And, I mean, Princess Jellyfish is over here now, so maybe if that does well, then her other series will follow.
Was it on the New York Times manga bestselling?
I think it might have been.
I think, but I
Probably.
don't really remember.
I think so. I would bet so.
Yeah. That reminds me, this is totally off topic.
Yeah.
But there's an issue on, like, Amazon and whatnot for, when they're selling single chapters digitally, and when they have the whole volumes digitally too, where the listings get messed up.
Huh.
Like, you'll click on the listing for, like, Princess Jellyfish Volume 1. And then you'll try to go to the Kindle page for it from there. And then it'll change to, like, Princess Jellyfish Chapter 1. I don't know if this is still an issue now, but a while ago I was like, oh, maybe I'll buy the first volume digitally. But I couldn't figure out how, because I could only get to the page for the first chapter digitally. And I think it was the same for some of the other series too.
That's
and
odd.
It's not just it's not just a problem for series where they sell it by chapter and by volume. It's also seems to be a problem for series where both the manga and the light novel are being sold, where sometimes the listing is kind of like it's hard to figure out which one you're buying.
Yeah, that's odd. I never noticed.
It's in the description, you know, if it's the manga or the light novel. But sometimes when you go back and forth and you're trying to buy the Kindle version, sometimes it changes. And it's kind of been an ongoing issue since since DMG put out the Aria the Scarlet Ammo light novel, the first one.
Right.
Because I worked on the manga for that, and that's why I noticed this.
Oh, isn't Aria by the same lady who makes Amanchu?
No, this is a different Aria. You're thinking about. I mean, you're right, but I'm talking about a different Aria.
Right.
Aria's great though. The Aria that you're talking about, Aria the Scarlet Ammo, is okay, I guess, but it's like super cliche light novel stuff, which is fine if that's what you like.
There's one that should come over. Amanchu. I've been watching that show too.
Oh yeah.
So good. And like, I went into it kind of expecting like, I'm gonna ship these girls, but I'm sure it's not gonna actually be like a thing. But now I'm watching it, and like, I'm starting to think this is a thing.
Yay.
It's yeah, they're really cute. There's like no dudes to be spoken of so far. And it's a very sweet show, and the animation is super cute.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
Recommended. So I kind of want to read the manga of that. But yeah.
Yep. I don't know what's popular, so I don't have any suggestions for popular titles that I don't think we'll see translation, except, I guess, maybe Silver Spoon. I mean, because it hasn't so far.
It hasn't?
No.
Oh, I'm so out of touch.
Right? Silver Spoon hasn't been licensed still, right?
I'm
pretty sure, like 90%.
I guess not.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's crazy. Viz just licensed Awihana.
Oh, right.
Sweet Blue Flowers.
That really surprised
me. I was,
me.
not expecting that.
Well, because it's kind of gone through a couple hands. First J-Manga, and then
it's been so long
digital manga.
That I was like, I guess we're just not getting this.
Yeah. I always wondered. I finally bought the Japanese version because I thought it was never going to come out in English all the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, I still haven't read all of the Japanese version because I buy ebooks and I forget about them, but...
Mm-hmm. I think I read the whole thing. It's very sweet. Okay. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that from Viz of all companies.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's another one I wouldn't have minded translating, but I don't know how people go about getting in with Viz, you know?
I don't know.
I mean, again, it's not like I have basically any time to take on more things right now.
Jeez.
But if it was something that I really like, I would just be like, it's okay, I don't need free time.
Yeah, I get that. I totally understand. It's really hard to say no to any manga project.
Mm-hmm. I had to say no to something for the first time last month or so, just because it was we lost the translator for this, and we need volume 3, and we need it in a couple weeks. And I was like, I'm really sorry, I literally can't.
Well, with your light novels, you are pretty much
packed. Yeah. After this first one is over, I should have. They said that the deadlines for the next few volumes won't be so tight. They just want to get the first one done as fast as possible.
Yeah, of course.
So hopefully I'll have a little more downtime. But
once you say that you have downtime, that's when you're going to get a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
It all seems like it comes at once, too. Oh, it's pretty funny. When the agency that I did Capellion for got in touch with me to do it really fast, literally a couple hours later, is when I got assigned my first Digital Manga Guild books too. And it was oh no, everything literally just came at once.
Mm-hmm.
Now I went from having 0 work to having a whole ton of work. This is a couple years ago, when I was just getting started.
Yeah, that totally happened to me. I think
that's happened to me
too,
twice. Where it would be the same day. It's oh, I have nothing to work on because I caught up on everything or whatever. Oh, now I have a new project. Sure, I'll take that. And then somebody else is hey, do you want this? And then I have another new project. And it's oh, I don't have any free time anymore. Oh well.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of rambling now.
Well, I guess it has been about an hour already.
It has been an hour.
So maybe for Justin's sake, and our listeners' sake, I don't know.
What? There's no such thing as those.
It's fine, there's so many. But if you are out there, you should totally comment on the page on the site or tweet at us. My Twitter name is JLMKArt, and you can ask us questions or whatever. Be gentle.
Oh no.
But,
no.
Don't worry. I'll protect you, Senpai.
Oh my god, I love you so much.
Oh, I'm getting a weird look.
What? Are you?
Alex came by just to give me a weird look.
Really?
That's okay.
At that time? Uh-oh. It's a rival. Rival affairs.
Yeah. It's a good cliffhanger.
Oh, God.
To end this exciting chapter on.
That's something.
I know. But yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for chatting with me. Thanks, listeners, for listening. And we'll see you guys next month.